Hi everyone, welcome to DWARFLAB Academy. I'm your host today, Claire. In this video, I'll show you how to capture the Milky Way using the DWARFLAB telescopes. The telescope is already set up outside, and I'll be controlling everything remotely from indoors throughout the entire process. Keep in mind that Milky Way photography requires fairly dark skies. Generally speaking, border 6 or darker is recommended. It's also important to avoid city lights and other sources of light pollution. So if everything looks good, let's move into the first section. Before we begin, make sure your app and firmware are updated to the latest version. It's also important to prepare wide-angle dark frames in advance using similar shooting settings. The overall workflow is actually pretty simple. It mainly includes 1. Switching to the Milky Way mode, 2. Framing and tracking, 3. Set parameters, and 4. Start capture. Throughout the process, the app provides helpful tools and guidance, making Milky Way photography feel much more natural and approachable. Alright, enough talking, let's jump right into Let's Capture. One of the most important parts of Milky Way photography is finding it. If you are already familiar with our local night sky, you can find it directly in the Sky Atlas. Or you can use AR framing to help locate the Milky Way core more easily. Here we'll use AR framing instead of Sky Atlas. Then type locate Milky Way at the bottom. It may take a few seconds to calculate the position. Alright, this is currently one of the best positions with a suitable altitude angle and a good view of the Milky Way core. You can see the virtual Milky Way overlay appearing on the screen. Now I'll type the eye icon to temporarily hide the overlay. This helped me check for trees, buildings, and other obstructions nearby. Since I'm controlling the telescope remotely and the environment out there is extremely dark, I cannot virtually confirm the surroundings myself. So I'll make some rough framing adjustments using the live view and the joystick. Alright, I think this framing looks pretty good. Let's keep it here. Typing confirm. Now we can adjust the shooting parameters and begin the capture. Milky Way mode automatically provides default shooting settings. By default, it uses a 10-second exposure with a minimum gain. And in good sky conditions, these settings are already very safe and can produce great results. Of course, you can try longer exposures like 50 seconds, or with an EQ setup, you can even experiment with a 30 or 60-second exposure. For this demo, I'll just stay with the default settings. As for the numbers of frames, somewhere around 150 to 300 frames is really a great starting point. So I'm capturing 140 frames here. Once we tap shoot, the telescope will begin stacking automatically. It should take about 25 minutes to complete for this session. As more frames are stacking together, you'll gradually start seeing the Milky Way core and dust lanes and color details becoming more visible. During the capture process, you can also make some curve adjustments if you want. For example, you can darken the background a bit or enhance the brightness of the Milky Way itself. Alright, after about 25 minutes of capture time, let's take a look at the results. This is the final Milky Way image we captured. Even though this is still just the initial result, we can already see some structure and detail appearing in the Milky Way, which is always a great sign. The Milky Way is actually a relatively dim target, so it really benefits from additional stretching and post-processing. The good news is Stellar Studio is really good at handling Milky Way images. So now let's move into Stellar Studio for post-processing. here I'll use auto processing. Not bad, right? We can also try star reduction or even add a little diffraction spike effect. Very nice. That's already looked really nice. Future updates will also add landscape separation for Milky Way mode. Right now, because the telescope tracks the Milky Way, the foreground landscape may appear blurred during long captures. We're also continuing to improve the time-lapse workflow for Milky Way photography, so definitely stay tuned for that. See, Milky Way photography really can be this simple. If you have ever wanted to try photographing the Milky Way, it's honestly much easier now than it used to be. If you get a chance, try bringing your telescope somewhere truly dark and give it a shot yourself. And if you capture something you're proud of, don't forget to share it with us. Your image might even get selected as a DWARFLAB pick and maybe receive a surprise gift. I'll also continue sharing more tutorials and useful tips in the channel, so if there is anything specific you would like to know, feel free to leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of DWARFLAB Academy. Bye!